All right, let us bring the homies in. All right, we're officially live.
I still can't believe Brandon killed Malik with 23 AC.
Well, that's what happens when you have 23 mobs to work with.
I just can't believe Brendan in general, so...
I still can't believe I have 9 bottle clocks.
I can't believe it's not butter.
They're
What? Not butter!
Before we dive into tonight, there are a few adults.
It's too late for that.
There are a few adults on my Facebook. Well, I say adults. There are a few baby boomers on them Facebook friends with that are habitually surprised my parents let me out into the world. Just every time I post anything on Facebook, they're just like, "What?" And just yeah, I don't know what I'm doing either, but it's working. I'm alive. Anyways, though, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group A, Sky of Wolves, the second part of their campaign.
It's good to be back.
It is very good to be back. And
remember, Mama Teak loves you.
Mama Teak loves everybody except for evil sorceress.
A stands for Alpha, by the way.
So, when this group last left off, they had just witnessed Elena steal an entire Earthfire out of the northern mountains of Ardersarai. And
we didn't witness it. We saw the aftermath.
You saw the aftermath of it. And so she was chilling somewhere in the south, and the party decided to leave the mountains. And on their way tracking her, they got involved in a town called Amberside, where a cult of werewolves had set up shop. And as a service to the town and to Ogun, the party dispatched of the werewolves and ended a pretty nasty slave trade that was going on. The party was thoroughly rewarded with all of the starting gear that they have now. You guys can consider that as pieces of rewards that you got from the town. And the party continued to track Elena, trying to pick up any piece of information they could learn about her. And that's going to lead us into tonight. And so I'm going to start with this document. I'm going to talk a little bit to you guys, and then I'll throw the session over to you. All right, so where the south and north winds meet. Using lost and unknown magic, the sorceress Elena Lidelia did the unthinkable. With help from her demonic companion Terrorcry, she stole an entire Earthfire from the nation of Ardersarai. In the wake of her goals, she left the country of Ardersarai on the brink of ruin, teeter-tottering between civil war and dark forces. No one has a clear idea of what her plans for the fire entail, or what exactly the organization that she works for wants. However, they do know that there are 3 more wells of divine energy spread out over 2 other countries that she can potentially steal. Bonded by fate, a plucky group of criminals, paladins, scholars, and foreigners have sworn an oath to prevent Elena from causing any more destruction to the world of Ilderon. After trudging through frigid mountainous roads and war-torn countrysides, the group has arrived on the Ardorian border, planning to continue their travels westward. If they are to predict her next move, they must understand the extent of her plans. The party has been tracking rumors of Elena's dealings in Ardersarai and found out she was first spotted in the country, raiding a hidden library under the military fortress of Westwind. The Rune Keep lies on the Ardorian hills in front of them, still looming over the Ililnagai border. Battered by war and sabotage, the age foundation of the fortress still stands. If there is any knowledge to be gleaned from the rubble, is yet to be determined. Stories tell of ages before the Shatterings, where mortals used the flames of the Earthfire freely, of times when their magic could be freely accessed by all. The writings of a more primordial attuned generation could give insight into what the power of a fully functional Earthfire is capable of. If any of those stories exist, they might reside in the tunnels below. The party's story begins on the banks of the Alyanga River, Alianga River beneath the hills of the fortress. If you guys see that picture, that's kind of what's in front of you right now. Westwind was just as impressive of a structure as Northwind, the fortress that we picked back up in after the party swap over with all the player deaths. And it's this massive military fortress that is almost a town unto itself that stands on the border. It houses 30,000 troops, and below, within its walls, is a small town. Westwind, a few months back, was sabotaged, and people had smuggled in an unknown deadly explosive substance, and just so many pieces of the fortress are just in ruin, either collapsed in or destroyed. And then in addition to that, this entire part of the country has been being sieged by a Lilnagai, and so this fortress has been battled over several times. From what you can tell now, it is loosely occupied. There might be groups, there are several different smoke areas coming up from within the fortress, which might be singular mercenary groups hiding out in there, bandits, enemy forces, who knows. However, still down the hill below, a good distance away, and I'll move you guys over that, is the town down the riverside that Westwind shadows over. But you guys are on the Alianga River, and you can choose to follow it straight to Westwind, or you can go to that southern town down the hill from it. And I should describe who's all with you. This party has... let's do that. So, that's how we're going to start
Character
tonight.
descriptions.
Yeah, everybody is going to get a brief chance to say, your name as a player and the character that you're playing. And you can give like a short 2-sentence description about them of like what they look like and what they want, or what they look like and who they work for. And we're going to go from the oldest member of the party to the newest member of the party. So let's start with Soulmane.
That's a very sad thing to say, Brandon.
You're ancient.
Hi, I'm Anthony. If you've watched any of the other campaigns, you've probably heard me playing a multitude of different people. Tonight I will be controlling my rogue Soulmane Darkstride. He is actually a trained assassin with the Yonder clan. Due to some events, he was actually a prisoner and is now basically prisoner of everyone else in the party, going along till they kill Elena.
All right. Next we have Alward.
The hell? How am I the second oldest in the party?
Well, you see, Roak left you. Malik died.
Yeah, actually, to be fair,
Elsie
basically
died.
my wife. Okay, so Howard Lowanda, exile of the Storm Yandar tribe in the Low Lakes. He's a halfling, yeah, so bit of a midget, but you don't want to annoy him. He has quite the temper. Luckily, though, keeping him in check is his reasonably sized companion, Kara the Black Bear.
All right, and next we have Teak.
Hi, I'm JD. I'll be playing as Teak Helmani Kelfira, the Unrepentant, or just Teak. She's an older tiefling paladin of the Order of Umiya, particularly of an order called, the Unrepentant. She's trying to prevent as much harm as she can, but sometimes to do what's right, you must do a few wrongs.
All right. Next, we have Fractus.
Hello, my name is Shelby. I will be playing Fractus Hornfell. That's like the Sky Star, but with 2 L's. And he is a gambler and a card player. He is also part of the Unrepentant and Teek's right-hand man.
Then we have Ogun.
Howdy, my name is Jeff. I'm playing Ogun, who has a much longer name. Ogun, Three Strike, Maddest Wolf, Dawn Eye, Son of Viola Thrice Dead, First Wind of Anga Yandar. He is, at least as far as he knows, the only surviving member of his tribe, and he is, for the most part, a druid. He is known to change shapes on a regular basis for purposes of fighting and a few other things. He is scarred in various and sundry ritual ways, including notably arrows on the side of his face, and usually runs around in furs carrying his axe but not really using it much. He is honor bound to destroy Elena and will drag any of these party that balks along with him.
All right. And then finally we have Willow.
Hello, my name is Wesley. I'm the resident tryhard of the group. I'm playing Willow, a elven professional soldier often that is kind of less on permanent payroll for the Unrepentant, and he is also a tryhard. He rides around usually on the back of a very large and gloomy-looking elk that is war-trained.
Okay, and one more thing.
Ain't got shit on Kara, though.
One more thing I did want to note before we get started. Ogun picked up a necklace off of Doaka that was a symbol of the cult that she was in. Ogun found out that it was cursed, and he and Skari worked to destroy it. So yeah, that necklace is destroyed. The curse was removed from Ogun, and if anybody ever wants like that moment, I might just like write it up and I'll put it in like a document and attach it to this or something. I don't know. Yeah. So other than that, we're hopping straight into it tonight. So with you is of course the blue band. All 4 of them still bound to your service. Rosero, Nikarin, Skari, and Anston. Anston has not had any incidents with the spirit following him. However, every time Teek's divined for it with her divine sense, it is there probably about 75% of the time, lingering behind him. With that, it's been about 2 weeks. It is the 8th of Hunter, the 2nd month of the year. In the still the cold parts of winter, moving towards spring. Yeah, so you guys are looking over this fortress, or looking up at this fortress. If anybody wants to say anything.
So, where to, boss?
Well,
Down, in, get the good stuffs. Hopefully something informative.
Yeah, Corey's inside. It's pretty cut and dry today. We get in, see if there's anything that we can learn.
Okay, well, I vote not going towards people and going up towards the thing.
You think there'll be any of her minions around? I hate fighting those things.
So. Probably a monster 20. Nothing that shouldn't be boring.
I mean, we did just spend how much time fighting werewolves? This will be a piece of cake.
About 3 days.
Yeah, about so. Let's be on with it then.
That wasn't 3 days of fighting. If you think that's
No, it was 3 days in
in
total while we were
3
there.
days of fighting is.
Well, if we fight another werewolf, I'm prepared now.
Too little, too late, eh, Practice?
Well, when you're trying to punch it out with a werewolf, you're bound to get burned.
No, you just need to learn how to
I
punch
mean,
better.
if you're trying to punch a werewolf, you're probably already being bit.
Well, that's why we have Gara in front of us, right? Well, we're...
Yeah, you just scared to, like, just a sour glare. Since you're the one punching, shouldn't you be out in front?
No, only fools rush in. The smart ones follow second.
Nah, Practice is just a big weenie.
You call yourself smart, yet your preferred method of attack is punching.
No,
That's some brains you got stored in your fists.
As much as I'm enjoying this tactics discussion, we do have something we need to accomplish today.
Quiet.
Yep, let's get in there.
All right. So
I can insult Practice anytime. This thing is interesting.
I mean, you can insult Practice while you're doing this thing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I'm a great multitasker.
While you guys have been traveling on the road, Rosero, your rogue, who is an infinite toolbox of stuff, has learned how to drive your cart, so he can be proficient as navigating your carriage.
He's proficient in land vehicles. Nice.
Yeah. And I'm assuming since Anston's been without incident for 2 weeks that you guys have unmanacled him.
Wait, we were somewhere where I could get a remove curse or something like that cast. Couldn't we do the same with him or get him cleaned up a little bit?
Yeah, Teak exercised him.
Oh, okay. So is he completely cleared up, or is it still kind of... You said it was still kind of hanging around, I thought.
Yeah.
I opened up a can of Demon Be Gone.
Yeah, it comes back about the same rate as the book. He also has a spell book. Every time you guys try and destroy it, it reappears in an hour.
So we shouldn't destroy it, we should just relocate it to another side of it.
Anston was resurrected.
I think our solution
with a
so far
very
has been
evil
strapping
wish
it to a
spell.
horse.
Yeah.
It'll wait.
I believe Willow took the book and put it in a box and put it in a chest. Or I think he just put the book in a small chest.
I locked the book in the chest, yes. And if I'm not mistaken, I gave that to Teak. It sounds like something he'd do.
Calling it now, he's a Pact of the Tome Warlock.
Yeah, you guys have already seen Anston's empowered, possessed form, and Teak was just like, no.
I love how, I remember in that combat, it's just, I am the great demon of, ow, come on, do you mind? Ow!
Ah!
Didn't last a single round.
The combat lasted as long as it took Teak to say, I use Channel Divinity and turn undead, which is not a fear condition. It is its own condition.
So that's how you say get fucked in Celestial.
So, are we going up to the thing or down to the people?
Well, you know me. I'd rather go down to the people. I could probably find us a contact, see if they know anything.
Yeah, but how likely are the people to be helpful
Well, helpful
without
is...
having to beat the tar out of most of them?
Oh, I'm a pretty persuasive guy, Ogun. Couple of card games.
on that note, you two can have fun. And Ald and Carl will just wander on up to the fortress. We'll just start walking off.
Damn it, Howard. What makes you think that was the fun part for me? I want to go into the fortress. I am going to go into the fortress regardless of how much card play and Fractus decides to do.
Oh, I'm not stopping from the fortress. I'm just saying that maybe we can find out some information. We can do it on the way back if you want, Teak.
Let's do it on the way back. If nothing else, if we find a complete huckster and you can't see through that, I'm not saying you can't, then at least we have some idea what we're looking for, or what we're listening for, and what we can ignore.
Isn't the fortress like inhabited by bandits or something like that?
Not for long!
I'm gonna try this new mithril armor out. It's gonna be fun.
GG bandits, man.
Okay,
It's it's open space. I can actually fight mounted.
I'm just gonna leave this here once I get to. I'm just gonna do this once I get to the fortress, like to the wall of it. I'm not going up to the main gate because that's stupid.
Okay. Wait. What is it that you're doing? I didn't see that roll.
Primeval awareness.
Okay.
Favorite enemy: humanoids and elementals.
Oh, and I was chewing.
I detect humanoids and elementals.
Okay, yeah, there are several groups of humanoids and Well, no, there aren't any elementals inside.
Aww.
Actually, let me roll you a die on that, because there might be.
Random encounters, boys.
Man, I should have got me some stone shape.
I'm gonna roll you a D4 minus 2. You don't detect any elementals inside of the... Yeah, you don't detect any elementals inside of the fortress. You do detect several groups of humanoids. I'm not going to go through and name all of their numbers. It's a lot.
So, on average, how big is a single group?
On average,
Like
how
10,
big is a single group? Yeah, somewhere around 10.
Alright, and how many groups am I detecting?
Throughout the fortress. So let's we'll just roll this. You are detecting or actually we'll roll this. You detect 76 different groups across the fortress.
So that's rough. So that's at least 760 soldiers. Or at the very least, inhabitants.
Yeah, this
humanoid.
fortress looms over the horizon. It was big enough in its prime to house 30,000 people.
It's a lot of XP,
Okay, so it's relatively empty.
Yeah.
Cool. By the time people catch up, I'm just sat next to the wall.
It's relatively empty, but you can see at different points on it of people camping, of smoke rising in the distance of 3 different areas where people would be on the ramparts, and have just made a shelter. Not all of these people living in here are hostile.
But I can't tell whether or not they're hostile.
Give it
All I
time.
know is where they are.
All right. So the party heads towards the fortress, and on your way up there, rocks fall. Everybody dies. No. Okay. So.
But I have a good.
See you guys next week.
There's going to be a approach, and I'm not sure what the exact name for this is going to be through the front gate of this to this fortress. Go ahead.
Portcullis?
Well, before you even get to the portcullis, As you're making your way up, this kind of a ramp-like path, leading up from the river and the tree foliage of where you're at, to like just the main approach of the castle, and the front gate inside of your site. There's a courtyard around or rather a courtyard before the front gate. And this front gate is huge and it is cracked open. You can't see past it, but you can see the rubbled courtyard. And let's go to something a little bit more suspenseful.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah. The bridge connecting from this ramp that leads up. Oh, not a moat. I was almost there. God. Anyways, there's kind of a walkway bridge that connects to the front gate. That they can, if needed, it could stop siege weapons from getting into this courtyard. However, that area is rubbled. You don't think it would be safe to take your carriage any further than here. It's not so terribly rubbled where a group of people on foot would be able to trek through it easily. Ratheril is going to stop your 2 horses, which are named. They're on Ogin's card. He's going to stop your 2 horses pulling your carriage and say, well, as much as I'd love to join you in a trek through long-forgotten ancient knowledge and dungeons and corridors and enemies and bandits and monsters and all the wonderful threats that might await in there, I just don't think I can go any further. But I set up camp here for you guys, and I'll have a hot meal ready for you when your day is done exploring.
That's probably a good idea, Usaro.
Sounds good to me.
Why don't you keep the blue band with you as well on that? Skari, do you have any potions, healing potions for us?
Skari is gonna go into her sack and she did have all of those herbs. I'm gonna roll her a die of how well she did brewing them, and she's going to say, no, I just was a lot of those were not picked in the right season. I've got one, and she's going to hand you a healing potion. It is a little bit better of a healing potion than you probably have on you, but I need to get the name of it. I think it's a greater healing potion she just gave you.
Practice is going to hand it to Willow.
Ooh. Yeah, greater healing potion. It heals 4d4 plus 4.
Appreciate it.
Well, that's gonna be fun. So much fun. Yeah, there are a lot of, at the very least, humanoids in there.
Do you know how many?
Let's see. If I had to give a rough estimate, say roughly, I'd say about 800. It isn't like a good upper limit. I kind of lost count once I got around there.
Okay, now that's 3 days of fighting.
That being said, I can't tell whether or not they're, soldiers or bandits. I just can tell whether or not they're there.
Blue Band, be careful. Don't have a very large fire tonight. We don't want people seeing it from afar. Keep it low and keep it small.
Anston is going to step forward and say, I'll handle the cooking. As he does, Nikiran is going to volunteer and say, Skari took point with you last time inside of those dungeons. I just stayed back and guarded. It's about my turn to see some action. And I didn't sign up to be the logistics. As long as my people are safe, I don't mind risking my neck.
Practice is going to raise an eyebrow and then shrug.
Okay. Oh, I saw you looked up those horse names. I've got them on my card too. I just showed it to the web camera. Hey, don't.
I just figured I'd share.
Don't forget your noble horse's name. It's Lao. That's what I had it marked down as. S-I-E. Oh, S-I-E-L-A-L.
Seal.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, if you guys permit Nikiran to go with you, then you can head across this... Rampart's not the word either.
Drawbridge?
Yeah. Well, it's not a drawbridge anymore.
Well, what's left of it?
Yeah.
At this point, let's just say wooden plank.
It's made of stone. That's why you guys can still walk across it. If you were to think of, like arches and Greek aqueducts of sorts, or Roman aqueducts, I think they're the ones who had them.
Roman aqueducts.
Yeah, it would look a lot like that, as like a large 40-foot pathway. In just, the parts of it close to the courtyard where the drawbridge would be able to be pulled up. Right there, is where all the shifting and rumbling of the castle has caused this drawbridge to go down in the wrong direction, and it is slumped down in what this fortress is built upon. So as people, you guys can keep moving up this ramp, climb down, and then walk on this thrown down wooden drawbridge and just kind of climb up it, but your carriage can't go up at that angle.
Can Kara do it?
Can Kara pull your carriage? No.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can. If you were to think of this as an angle, it would be at if 45 is directly diagonal, it'd kind of be at 60 to 75. It's steep. Legs,
so Kara
yes.
would not be able to make it.
Kara's a mountain bear.
Bears can climb trees. She can handle it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then Kara could make it. Yeah, sure.
Should I be leaving my horse with the camp, Brandon, or can
yes.
horse traverse? All right, I'll leave the horse.
Yeah, I was gonna say the horse can, but it's going to be difficult for it.
Nah, I'll leave it with.
I don't plan on having you guys flee this tower or flee this fortress in a hurried, expedited, panicked rush. But if you had to, then that would be where you'd have to leave your horse behind. It either jumps and dies, or you're just all right, good luck, horse, and you get off of it and slide down the hill.
No problem. If I get into trouble, I'll just ride Ogun horse.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. I mean, that's really why you have a druid.
No. Maybe. It depends if it's funny or not. I wouldn't use a horse form for that anyway. There's mountain goats and stuff. Giant mountain goats.
And
There you go.
besides, spider bears.
Right?
Yeah.
I have to move my car real quick. So I really I want to do this at the top of the session, so I don't have to do it like while we get in the middle of something. So if you guys want to take 2 minutes and grab all of your like snacks or anything, it's going to take me like 40 seconds to move the car, and then we will dive through this dungeon.
That is not long enough to boil a kettle, but I will.
No problem. Go.
Actually, I won't. I'm lazy.
That's what a pittery pop is for.
Hey, Teak. Hey, Teak.
Yes?
Did you see the blade that the unrepentant got me?
I did not. Allow me to feast my eyes.
I got a one of Umiya's rare sea blades, aka a sunblade reskinned.
Very nice. And an honor, to be sure.
That's right, a full rapier-like sword that instead of radiant energy is radiant mist energy. A blade of mist. Quite cool.
Indeed. May it bring us many victories.
Absolutely. Did you end up getting anything from the unrepentant?
Just a amulet. It bolsters my my fortitude.
Oh, I also am going to pick up one of those masks that you always wear eventually. I'm not sure if I will wear it, though, T.
Well, I was fortunate enough to have this one enchanted from the helmet of my suit of armor.
Just as a little side note, like as the party's like crossing the bridge, if you look over, he's just laid back like on the Kara's batting, just looking over. Like he has like the silver short sword, and he's just like inspecting it, and occasionally uses it to sharpen an arrow.
You said you got a new short sword?
The silver short sword that
Yeah, okay.
practice gave him.
All right, I'm back. Did you guys manage to kill each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Nope.
It was brutal, it was bloody, and all hail the mighty pie.
Okay.
We did have a sword measuring contest, so.
So, stepping into, or climbing over this, up the ramp, we'll call it that, and stepping through the courtyard. The broken statue here is a, it's broken. This whole foundation of this fortress has been rocked. Through the courtyard, there is a huge crack that has like shifted one half of this courtyard at least forward, maybe a foot or so. Like if you're like seeing where the stones match up, you can step through the gate. Up on the rampart, you guys here personally, you see one campsite already made. With a fire going to shield against, the winter winds. Presumably some sort of lookout. They are about 40 feet up from you, looking down. Whoever they are, they don't seem too terribly concerned with your presence. You can choose to step inside the courtyard. Or, I'm sorry, you can choose to step from the courtyard inside of the main gate.
They look like a posted guard.
Posted lookout.
Practice. You wanted somebody to talk to? Talk to them.
You think we should come up to him, or should we, actually.
Well, if you climb up to them, they'll probably think that you're trying to, I don't know, maybe throw them off something. Better off just
I'm
shouting out.
suggesting shouting.
The gate is open, by the way. So much so that that you guys can just walk in. It's one gate is still in place. The other one has been pushed in, probably 7 feet. You can't see by it, but you guys can all comfortably squeeze through it or walk through it. There's no squeezing needed.
Practice is going to turn to Soulmate and Howard and tell them, there's no reason we all have to take the direct approach. And he motions to be stealthy and try and come up with a different way to in. Can you draw for me, Brandon, what the courtyard looks like?
So, I'm going to make this picture a little bit smaller. And then I will give you that drawing. Is it well, I'm not going to draw black on black. I'm going to draw it in green.
So edgy.
Yeah, I know, right? So if you, the river, flows, through here. You guys came up a walkway up to this river, and this kind of like retractable area right here is where I mentioned, the ramp that was the drawbridge between the concourse leading to the fortress and the front gate was gone. Once you get through there, I'm going to go down below and draw with shapes. And don't auto take that to black, please. Okay, so there would be one of the. I want a real circle, please. Thank you. There'd be the major tower looking over this area. Once you get in between here, the gate is not that. Give me a drawing tool. The gate is between this and another barrack piece of the fortress. And this approach to the gate, there is the statue in the middle of this courtyard that's formed by these two buildings and the gate. And then additionally, and I'll draw this in a different green. Or actually, I'll draw it in red. The walkway that you guys came up here would be kind of like this. So as you step into this gate, I actually drew this wrong. This gate is partially open, so I'll do it like that. So as you step in to approach, to walk into the fortress, you are in this courtyard, and then I'm going to draw this in blue for elevation. Above that gate that I just drew, not a thing. Above that gate that I just drew, there's a walkway leading over it. That person that is looking at you, there is a campsite, one of those campfires that are, dotting the walls of the ramparts, up here directly over the gate. You saw a head peek up from the meticulations and look down at you, and just like seeing you approach the fortress. They didn't seem terribly concerned with you. They peeped down at you, and then they went back to. They presumably went back to wherever they were.
Okay, so they've already.
I mean, we could take the sneaky approach, but then there'll be two people and a bear that suddenly just disappeared from this group.
Yeah, you guys are right there at the courtyard with the broken statue.
All right, walk in like I own the place.
All right.
I follow.
Ogun owns the place, but Teak co-signed on the lease. So, all right. Getting inside of this area, you are in a marshalling yard. It is a long rectangular yard. And actually, I need to roll a percentage die for how much of this is destroyed. So most of this area has been cleared out. You're going to notice as you come up here, there are a few structures set up, and people actually, you can actually see people moving about in this area, almost like a small village of sorts. It's probably about 300 feet in the distance of the yard that this whole place encompasses. And on either side, there's the large tower immediately to your right as you step into this gate, and the barracks of the fortress to your right. Once again, that foundation shift goes through the whole center of this area, or that crack goes through the whole center of this keep, shifting one side of it forward at least a whole foot. Any of the buildings that are, connected all the way through, the buildings on your left and right are fine, but the ones directly in front of you, that's where the rubble is the heaviest, and, the structures have fallen down. If anything that you see, you can probably assume this to be some sort of a salvage operation, or these people to be some type of scavengers. Fractus, you got a whole bunch of passive perception.
What do I see?
Things aren't quite right here. You're going to notice, just like on the, you're going to notice on the crackles of the flames and like the breeze of the wind, that all of them happen, but there's also like occasionally sparks, like electrical sparks. Just like the few people sitting around don't really seem to notice it, but like where a blue flame would be, and like that heat from there, just kind of like an electrical spark, and just like it doesn't really sit right with you noticing like just these random magical oddities just occasionally happening in the air around you.
What is Practice's passive perception?
I think it's 21.
22 actually.
Oh, well.
Practice is going to go, and he's going to stop everything, and he's like, "Teak, come here." And the group
Teak
might.
wanders up.
He's going to say this where the group will hear, but not anybody. Like it doesn't catch on the wind, and the group has to.
It's a stage whisper.
Stage.
Teak is going to say, "Something's not right. It's like it's illusion, or there's." Magic has destroyed this area. The fires aren't bright. There's like electric pulses where there shouldn't be.
All right, I'm going to use Divine Sense.
Up here. Okay, and that's on fiends, undead, and
Celestials.
In Celestials, yeah. I'm in the wrong book to even look at that. I was trying to remember.
I put it up in the chat. Detect Celestial Fiend or Undead within 60 feet of me. Also detects consecrated or desecrated ground.
So, just for the listeners and people watching the stream, you're going to see my head like lean forward off of camera and look down. I don't have a stand for the monitor that, that everything's going on right now. So I can't see my TV, And that stand's coming tomorrow, so it's not going to be a very long problem. But anyways, yeah, so you're going to Divine Sense. You're in a Divine Sense pings in a 60-foot radius. Out of the people that you can hit, you can cover about half of this courtyard. If you know, like you're walking through and you're seeing these people work and the different hovels of people together and these makeshift tents and structures that have been put up in here. From where you're standing, 4 people ping as undead. They look normal enough. One of them, their flesh looks like it's rotting off of their body. You can assume they're probably Terrai.
I'll turn to the rest of the group and stage whisper. Undead up ahead.
Can I detect any elementals? Like, I'm specifically scanning for elementals this time.
You don't.
Okay.
Well, I'll roll you the same die. I'm sorry. You are going to detect the faintest ping of an elemental. Of just like, wait, do I? Is that? I'm not certain.
Where am I detecting
Mechanically,
this from?
yes, you do detect an elemental. It is far below you. It is very faint.
You're telling me I'm detecting an earth elemental 5 miles beneath us.
And Divine Sense is also going to pick up desecrated land. You are going
Is
to...
this place desecrated?
You are going to... not this place. You are going to know the area where the 4 Terrai are. And they're kind of in their own little group. You are going to sense that's desecrated.
Alright.
And as you guys are like walking through here, you know, this community is kind of living in close quarters. When you think about it, you have like 300 feet for your entire village. It's not a lot of elbow room, and inside of this courtyard, there are probably about 50, 60 people. And you are going to be getting a couple eyes. Like, you know, as the group's just like walking through the center so T can get like a good place to, you know, Divine Sense off at.
How's the smell?
How's the smell? Let's... it would smell like sulfur here, especially drifting up from that crack. Of like... The residuals of everything that was burnt below this fortress, or whatever was destroyed below this fortress, definitely hasn't been cleared out. And that just, like, constant charred smell is just going to be... It's going to be prevalent. It's not overwhelming. At this point, you know, a lot of it would be, like, mildewy and stuff. So just think of, like, barbecue that's, you know, overcooked, but definitely way past its prime.
So, Brandon, would you
sneeze?
Say it again?
Would you say that this is a
Kara
community?
sneezes.
Yeah, this is a community.
Okay. What is your ruling on...
murdering them all?
Ear to the
Chaotic
ground.
evil.
Ear to the ground. You are in frequent contact with people in the segment of society that your chosen quarry moves through. These people might be associated with the criminal folk of the streets or members of the high society. This connection comes in the form of a contact. In any city you visit, a person who provides information about the people and places or the local area. So... You don't have that established here, but you are going to, like, having experience in that area, you're going to know, you know, who's shunned and who's not. immediately, the Terai community that is here, those 4 that are off on their own, you're gonna pick up that they probably would be the underside of whatever this community is, as all the other tents and hovels are formed around them, giving them like a little bit of space, which would be the only group that has space.
I'm gonna motion to Teak and say those are the leaders, most likely.
Not leaders, but people who could probably give you information.
Well, Practice is gonna say leaders. He
Okay.
realizes that that's in a community that's kind of not really the case,
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I conveyed the information properly to you.
Practice is going to say hello.
To everybody, or to specifically at those Terai?
Specifically at those Terai.
One of them is going to stand up and say, one of them's going to stand up, come by and nod to your group, and specifically to Teak, and say, Madam Paladin, we ain't harmed nobody yet. Or
Perhaps
actually, not. Sir Paladin. I apologize. Sir Paladin. She wouldn't... Teak would be in mask.
Correct. Is that so? We have reason to believe there may be bandits here in this temple.
She's gonna say bandits, cultists, the whole like. We just mostly clear out the barracks and the logistics areas. The military left so fast fighting the army. There's as many weapons, armors, rations, goods, silk, broken carriages, the like, wood, materials. It's a whole fortune waiting to be pulled out of here.
Indeed. We have really no interest in any of that, but we must be dealing with something far below. If you... we will not harm you if you allow us to pass, and you do not hinder us.
She's gonna nod and say, we don't salvage from below. Nobody does. And she's going to gesture back and say, only reason me and Adelon are able to stay here so long without killing people. A couple powerful clerics came through, helped us out.
Teak specifically won't mention that she doesn't really care about that. Mm-hmm. But she will nod and say, "Thank you. Me and my companions will leave you now." She'll turn to the rest of the group and gesture for them to proceed.
And she's going to grab you and say, "Are you going down below?"
We are indeed.
Practice is going to say, "Easy now, back up if you can."
Let's me roll a morality die for this person. She is going to she's going to stop you and say, just 1 second. And she is going to come back and she's gonna go to her stuff. You're gonna see her like digging through a heap of blankets, and Teek's not gonna see like what she's doing, but Fractus is gonna notice her like opening some box underneath this and reaching in, and she's going to whatever this is, she just pulled it out, like covet it real close to her, and coming back to Teek, and she's gonna say, for your kindness to my friends and I, not a lot of people in your position would turn the other eye. And she's going to open her hand, and just this... everybody give me a dexterity save against blind. No, I'm kidding. This just amazing silver emblem, just sparkly and shiny with this gold inlaid setting in the middle of it, and a gemstone laid in that setting. It is a officer's pendant of some sort, perhaps even a councilman's pendant. And she's going to say, we found this when we were digging through the barracks.
Practice is going to take it.
Okay, and she's going to say, if you want to last any time in the lower levels of the... if you want to last in the lower levels of this area, you'll need an offering for Arela, and she'll accept anything of sufficient value.
Thank you. May Umiya walk with you.
May the wave crash upon the shores.
She's gonna thank each of you and say thank you, but the gods long abandoned us, so...
Brandon?
Yeah.
I'm gonna insight her about all the things she just said.
Okay, what would you be trying to discern?
You know what, I probably should have done that too.
Yeah, I probably should have too.
I'm trying to insight if maybe this is a trap.
You see, Howard would, but he doesn't care.
Like, trying to help us, or if she's trying to set us up.
Oh, so... yeah, two things on that insight check you're going to pick up. One, this, whatever she just gave you is probably worth a good bit of value, and not worth definitely not worth parting with to some strangers that you just met. But like looking at her, like seeing what's going on, like the people over in her camp, like these people are just scavengers. They're poor. They're out here in the middle of the cold in the end of winter, picking over rubble to try and make a living for themselves in this country. There's definitely more richer areas of this keep to sort through, and you guys probably look like you're capable of doing it. If anything, this is an anti-trap. This is like, oh yeah, I definitely want you guys to get down there because you're gonna remember me.
She's scratching our back.
Yeah, you feel this is a pretty earnest gesture.
Okay.
She wants us to not murder her when we come back up.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's more she wants us to grab stuff and bring it to her.
It's like, you know what? You look strong enough to actually survive. Here's your pass, and give me some good loot.
Or have Ferks crack at buying it or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of which, hey, let me see that little trinket.
No, I got it.
No, I just want to look at it. I want to see. Just give me the damn thing.
Practice doesn't show Ogun it. He's like, I got it.
I know
Ogun,
you got it.
Rolling history on like what
I'm
you remember.
curious. I want to know when, where it's from.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, please. Argue later. Pit diving first.
Ogun, can
You said
roll
I like
history
femininity
on
is
it
some
though?
kind of insult.
Because he
Fuck
did
off.
see it. As he, like tries and recalls his mind, you guys did travel through a good bit of order. This is definitely a councilman's, mark of, or, like signet mark. It would denote a high-ranking government official of an elected official.
Okay.
Of what council or whose it is, who knows?
Is that a might figure it out with a closer look, or there's no way to tell?
Yeah, as Ogun didn't roll high enough to discern everything about it.
Okay. You probably think that's an officer's pendant, but you'd be wrong, and it's probably worth more than you think it is. But whatever. I'm just the historian. All right. Where's the door to the down parts?
There are lots of doors. Oh, are you asking the lady?
Yeah.
All right. So she was walking away from you, but when you call her back over, she's gonna stop and turn and say, "The doors to the down parts."
Yeah. Just the stuff down there. It's not completely collapsed, hopefully.
And she's going to point towards. She's going to point towards the. After you say not completely collapse, she's then going to she was about to point towards the collapse area, but she's gonna very gracefully turn of just trying to make it look like an exaggerated gesture to the barracks and say, we cleared out a path through the barracks to the dungeons, but they're winding and confusing. We haven't been down there yet.
You have the map?
I'm good at remembering where we've been.
Map. She laughs and taps her forehead.
Could you draw us a sketch?
Or come with?
If you travel with us, we will make sure that not a single bit of harm comes to you.
Or I'll fix it afterwards.
Either or. He's very good at fixing.
I'm gonna roll her a morality die.
I'm gonna roll persuasion on that.
Okay. And she's going to
low roll.
She's gonna say, I'll come with. I want half of whatever I can carry.
Teak looks at the rest of the group and
half of whatever you can carry could be all of it. You can take half of it, or whatever you can carry, whichever one.
The greater amount.
And half by value, not half by weight.
Teak, I like this one.
Practice.
She certainly is very pragmatic
on that one, or is that about right?
Hey, I mean that's a good deal for her. She's
Howard is just massaging the brow. His brow just bridge of his nose, that's what it's called. Just,
and she's going to she's gonna not running over to her stuff, and you guys are gonna see her take a bag, kind of throw some things out of it, put some other things in it, and grab a few other knickknacks, tools, and she's going to say, "Well, we'll have to be here by nightfall, otherwise I'm gonna have." And she's gonna stop and say, "Can you cast magic?"
Can I cast magic? She says.
Not.
He can't.
And she's gonna just brush her hand, "We'll be fine. This is gonna be wonderful." And she's gonna follow behind you. Yeah. As she joins the party, Nikirin is gonna look over at her and say, Nikirin. The lady says Choasi.
Y'all know each other?
Huh?
No, they just introduced themselves to each other.
Oh,
We don't care about it.
Shaking hands. Well, I mean, I don't want to have to refer to her as the Terai lady every time I have to reference her.
Little Miss Terai.
but that's her name. The Terai lady.
She's going to.
And so we delve into the barracks.
Yeah, she's going to lead you into the. She's going to lead you into the barracks, and as she does, you can see that this area, like some parts of it, are completely collapsed, as in not like the building above it fell down, but kind of like a sinkhole. As like the floor gave in, and there are rooms that there's no floor and just a bunch of rubble piled in there. She's going to weave you in and out of two of these into a room with a couple sleeping bags set up, some mining picks, and a bunch of castle stone and mortar just like piled in a corner. And she's going to gesture to this and say, this passage leads down 3 turns through 2 cells and into the start of the dungeons. Do you want me to lead you further, or do you want me to wait for you from here?
No, you need to come with if you're going to earn your half, but you can kind of lead from the back. We don't want you taking the first shot just in case.
Okay.
Practice is going to
Yeah,
whisper
as far as
to
you
Ogun.
walk.
Practice is going to whisper to Ogun. We don't?
No, might end up dead on the first shot. That's not going to help us at all.
Fair enough.
Brandon.
Yes.
Solmian's gonna be looking, see if he sees anything on their way down. I figure this place has already been picked pretty good, but you never know.
Okay. Just with his passive perception?
No, he'd be actively looking, so investigation or a perception.
Okay. She's going to take you to an area, and through, I guess I should give you guys a dungeon grid so you can start drawing this. I'm going to delete this stuff, and then you can start drawing on the next room I describe. Control C, and we'll paste this here. Paste. There we go. And send to the map layer. Okay, it's on the map layer. Alright, so you guys can draw there as I describe this area if you want. And then, as if needed, I can give you more. We will be changing pages, pages in Roll20 eventually, if you guys get far enough in here. She's going to lead you down a bending set of staircases that turn twice. When you get into the next area that you can see, you are in the cell block area of the dungeon. You come in on and you can just draw in the center. You come down a staircase that is 10 feet wide. And as you do, you are in a cross shape of a room. There is a single door to the north with a there's a single door with a iron barred gate over it. The gate is open. In the south part of the room, there are two more single cells. There's one. Well, it's on the western part of the room and the eastern part of the room, but they're south of you. Each set of the cells are open. You can see the northwest wall in this room is cracked as that crack and shift runs through here. It starts on that northwest wall. Your guide, as she leads you down here, is gonna say, "Ooh, exploring the dungeons, the danger, I love it." She's gonna say, "There's another entrance from the from several rooms over. I haven't been down in this part, but I've been down in Arela's section."
You say Aurela's section. Does that mean there's some folks that live down here and have been scavenging and whatnot pretty thoroughly?
She's gonna say, "Oh no, they're not interested in scavenging at all. Scavengers actually have to pay them tribute."
So they're just living off the backs of somebody else.
Are they going to be a problem?
Nope.
And she's going to look at the at Fractus, who she gave the pendant to, and said, "No, we've got passage."
Oh, we're supposed to give that to her?
She told you it was for Arela.
Yes, Fractus. You're supposed to give that away.
I mean,
Well,
you guys were
rather-
going to get there and then just be like, "What? We don't have anything." And it's like, "Oh yeah, my good friend from upstairs gave me something. God, she's so nice. We should reward her. She saved us so much effort."
See, and I was going to say, oh no, we have something to earn our passage. Your face. Intact.
Like we're not going to do that anyway.
That's about right.
Yeah, we'll probably just stab him to death, but...
You know, talking about this probably isn't the smartest thing to do in front of one of her tenants.
Oh, after being down here for like it's almost pitch dark down here. After being down here for a few moments, she's gonna like slap her head and she's like, "Ah, I forgot. Not everybody can see in the dark," and she's gonna light a torch for the party members who don't have dark vision.
Oh, darn it.
Oh, I would have taken out my sword if it was dark.
Yeah, I was doing things under the presumption everyone could see in the dark. That's my bad. But yeah, it's pitch black down here.
Hogan, you said that that necklace was more valuable than it appeared.
Yeah, you probably think it's a officer's pendant.
What is it instead?
It's actually for a councilman. Maybe you could tell if I got a closer look and had time to think about it, but councilman, yeah.
Is it magical?
I don't know. I didn't look for that. Usually not. I don't think those usually got enchanted. Is that right, Brendan?
Yeah, they normally wouldn't be enchanted.
Well, we're running out of time on that if we give it over. I'm not necessarily liking this idea of paying for our passage. Yes,
Yeah, I know you don't like letting go of loot.
why? Hold on a sec.
Brandon,
Yes.
is there if I do an investigation check down here? Because she did mention the people who run this play area don't necessarily scavenge themselves.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So sorry, I'm back. I had to go yell at my dog.
All right. So, as you investigate this area, you are going to you're going to notice this room has a odd odor. Particularly that sulfur smell is more prevalent down here, and just like this whole bottom basement. And Soulmane has dark vision, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to walk in, you're going to just, like, be searching around this area. You're going to, as you get to these, the two cages, are the two cells down here, you're going to notice that these instead are cages. There are bones in each of them. Whatever was locked away down here died as a result of nobody taking care of it. And the corpse is decaying, and that's probably where, like, that additional, like, odd odor is coming from. But most of that, like, rot smell is masked by the sulfur. The eastern cage is still locked, and the western cage is open. And yeah, there's going to be more debris that you find in here too. And just with a because you rolled so high on that check, you're also going to see some writing on some of these walls. It looks like arcane sigils.
Ooh. I'm gonna stop the party real quick. Hey, any of you good with arcane stuff?
Right.
Yep. What do you see?
Just gonna look at Ogun.
I got some sigils over here.
Blinks.
Well, let's have a look. Point them out.
While Ogun is doing that, Bractus is going to chat up the Terrai woman to get information about this other gang leader.
Okay.
Ari, whatever her name is, Ari.
Arela?
Arela, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna roleplay that when we get to it. So Fractus, or Ogun, looking at these rooms. So this isn't kind of like this isn't really a spell. You can roll me an Arcana check to investigate it further. But Ogun, like, looking at this, is like, oh, these are arcane runes. And you're just like, no, that's not. That's gibberish. So, these look like the makings of some sort of, and they're definitely recent. Like, if some of this wall is charred or has mildew or anything on it, these runes kind of smudge that as somebody has drawn these on here. They are the different pieces of incantations that Ogun's going to recognize. Ooh, I'm sorry. That Ogun's going to recognize is like, man, that's like, I would do this with my hand if I was doing counterspell or dispel magic. I don't really know what this one is. But this is, Ogun's going to put together enough information that this is kind of like, whatever this rune was intended for, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of things to dampen magic.
Okay. Relay that. Well, someone's trying to dampen magic here. This is, it's very strange, kind of awkward, pulling together a few different disciplines, but that's pretty much where it's going.
What do you think will happen if we remove them?
Actually, I'm not 100% that they're working, or not completely certain that they're working. I mean, maybe?
Practice is going to say, I second that motion. They're probably not. Maybe that's what I thought was not quite right. The illusions that I thought I saw.
So, Brandon, does it look like these are actually functional, or is this too much garbage to actually work?
See, this is jerry-rigging. So this isn't... Okay. Ogun is a trained scholar. Whoever came up with this doesn't have Ogun's background. If they are working, they're not working in a way that Ogun understands.
Okay. So would a detect magic be able to tell me one way or the other?
Yes. Yes, it would.
All right, I'll throw it.
All right. So, I'm going to have to look up 2 quick things.
There's rules in case that's one of them.
Okay. So, are you going to use your action to... so, yes, they are magical. And are you going to use your action to tell what type of magic they are?
Yes.
Okay. Flipping to the page right now. Okay, come on, book. There we go. All right, it is abjuration magic. So you detect magic from these, but you also detect magic in this whole area as kind of like this residual, aura. If you imagine that you can see the magic, like when you detect magic, these runes, the writing of them they're going to light up in the lines, and those are going to be like pretty prominent and bright. But then also this just hazy mist is going to fill Ogun's vision, as this whole area is kind of magic.
Okay. So it seems like it is functional and possibly doing this dampening of magic effect that the runes appear to be alluding to. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, do you think
go ahead, Anthony.
I was just going to say, do you think we should dispel or destroy some of these runes?
Nah. I don't think they're going to slow me down at all. And, it's a little bit of abjuration, nothing weird. There's also just ambient magic levels higher than usual around here.
Fractus is going to hold up the pendant. Is this magical since you're casting it?
Glance over.
It is not giving off any aura.
Nope. Told you.
What does my passive perception say about the amulet?
About the amulet? So luckily it is silver, and when silver is tarnished, it can be cleaned off. They've definitely done their job on cleaning this amulet, but you can see it has nicks and even tiny bends in it. This amulet was probably caught in some sort of attack or something from when they found it, and they have did their best to restore it, but not doing so perfectly. They've restored its shininess just by, wiping off and scrubbing at it, but they haven't restored any of its bends or the damages it sustained from whatever hitting it.
Okay.
If you feel that leaving these alone is prominent.
I don't know that it's really important because I'm not really sure what they were trying to block or prevent. If they're just trying to keep the ambient level down, or if someone in particular was, say, trying to scry this room and they wanted to prevent that. Brandon, is that the right school? Abjuration for preventing scrying or preventing other magic or whatever?
Most of the time, Abjuration would be the school you wanted to cast in. If you wanted to prevent magic, it's going to be Abjuration most of the time. There are some specific divination spells that counter other divination magic.
Okay, so probably not preventing scrying, but something else.
Huh? You're the expert in this kind of stuff. I just... Curiosity, we'll call it. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's curious. It's strange for sure. Brandon, you said this was relatively recent?
Yes.
Okay. Do I recognize a style to it? Like, besides this person was kind of like homeschooled?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to stop eating these flaming hot Cheetos because, like, I'm gonna chew on one and then someone's gonna ask me a question. I'm in the middle of swallowing and I'm just gonna die.
Don't die, Brandon.
All right.
Also, use chopsticks so you don't get flaming hot Cheeto dust all over.
Oh, that's the best part. Well, on your fingers.
Yeah.
Fractus wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, besides the ruins, do I see anything like loot-wise? Playing or
not in this room. You know, I will roll you whatever this creature is that's in here. It seems it's definitely like not some normal beast. It's some sort of monstrosity. Has multiple heads, like a single body. Enough pieces of it are preserved that you could grab like a fang or an eye or a claw or something and presumably sell it for a little bit of pocket change, like 7 gold or so. Or you can give it to Scary to identify.
Wait a minute, this is a beast or something, not just a person, or not just a regular humanoid skeleton?
This area, these cells, just like from that investigation and looking around, you can determine these cells weren't used for people. These cells were used for beasts.
Okay, now Ogun's interested. Oh shit, that's a crap roll.
A 12. I actually don't remember the chart for nature, but I don't think that's high enough to discern what this is. Ogun's going to see... he's definitely going to recognize the head of a lion that's still intact.
Okay.
The other 2 heads are like too rotted away to tell much of like anything of like what this thing was, but... Oh
wait, 3 heads, one's a lion. It's a...
Chimera.
What's it?
Chimera.
That's
Chimera.
the thing, I think. Maybe. Probably.
We don't know that in character.
your characters could... Say. Yeah, your characters can put it together.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Elena had a chimera.
And that's what is going to drive his thought.
So, knowing that it's a chimera, is this about the right, like, normal size, roughly reasonable composition, everything like that?
So it's small. It's probably a spawn of one. There might be a bigger one in the area.
Okay.
This was just a baby.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bigger one in the area, but like if whoever put it down here, if like the fortress was like putting it down here, probably wouldn't have been like the prime thing. You could probably assume like maybe somebody was like trying to smuggle one into like the town below, and they're like, "Hey, you can't have that. Come on."
Ogun, do you think it's well? We know Elena was here. You don't think it's possible Or pets.
Could be. Can't promise, but it's something she would probably be pretty excited to have in her little menagerie. Unfortunately, any other additional enchantments she put on it would probably be gone by now. Still running Detect Magic, just glancing over it. Is there any residual magic left on it?
No.
Okay. Would there be? If, like, she had come through and this was one of hers?
You're not certain.
Okay.
Well, we know that she had one of these things.
Could be one of its spawn, but I don't have enough information to say for sure.
I'm going to rip out some of its teeth. Maybe we can get a better view with Scary later on.
Okay.
Right.
You can roll me a nature check, and for every 2 you get, you'll get one tooth.
Nature or survival?
Ogun will
Nature.
help.
Ogun gives you the aid action, so you can roll it with advantage. Is Ogun helping, or is he doing it? Like, this is how you do it?
He should probably be doing, honestly.
Okay. You can add 11 chimera teeth to your inventory. You can divide them up among the two of you, or just one person hold them. Their weight is negligible. Negligible.
After Slomain rips out after we get them out, Slomain will look at it. You're more familiar with these kind of things. Maybe you should hold on to them. We'll give them Scary to identify later.
And make sure to get not just 11 out of the lion head, but get some out of the other heads, too.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys would get, like, 3 from the lion, 2 from the wyvern head, and then I think the other one's like a ram.
Yeah. No snake.
Maybe I can get a horn.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to try not to fuck around too much with this, but someone's going to have to go, Ogun, we need to go.
I think we got enough. We should gotta keep moving.
All right, so Fractus wanted to be talking to Joassi.
Yeah.
What's he say to her? 'Cause that's going to determine a lot of like how this conversation goes.
So tell me more about this. What was her name again, Brandon?
Joassi called her Arela.
Arela. But tell me more about this Arela.
Oh, she's gonna say, "Ooh, we haven't seen her before." But when the other group set up shop down here, they started demanding tribute in her favor, or rather, tribute for her.
How many is in that group?
She's gonna shrug and say, the first day it was just 2, and then they attracted a few more, 7, 8. Every day a couple more come to their cause.
And in order for you to get any loot, you have to go through them?
She shakes her head and says, no, we pay tribute to them on the northern side of the fortress. It's where they've set up their temple.
Are you a member of this religion?
She says, heavens no, I don't worship demons. Or, I'm sorry, Providence, no, I don't worship demons.
Then why are you paying tribute?
Oh, and she says, safety, same reason we pay it to the bandits.
Well, maybe we need to do something about that. Omiya protects those who serve.
Holding the torch, you're gonna see her smile a good bit. She's gonna say, I always did like the mercy of that one.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, imagine that.
How? So what are we up against with these devil worshippers?
She's gonna say, I don't know. A few weeks ago, things just got real weird here in the fortress. Not sure what changed, but it's best not to fight the tides of people stronger than you.
I'm rolling a religion check, Brandon. Do I know anything about that religion?
What religion?
Ariana?
Well, Ariana is the celestial magnate of Arter Sarai. She is a human girl who is 19 years old.
And possessed by Satan.
Yeah. That is not this lady that she said. This lady she said is Arela.
Rayla. I'm gonna eventually get it right.
Yeah. On a 13? No, you haven't heard of anybody that worships any deity or entity by that name before.
Teak, what do you think?
That's an excellent question.
You've been very quiet through all this.
Yeah, I'll make a religion check, I guess. Have I heard of it?
On a 20? So, I mean, you're gonna Arela, or like, that's a weird name. You haven't heard of it. Is she even pronouncing it right?
I'm not familiar.
All right. So the woman holding the torch. If you guys.
I think I might have cut out there. I said, Teak says, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I heard that. And that all I heard was, I'm not familiar. The woman holding the torch is gonna say, well, I think she lives on this floor. If you're brave enough, you can talk to them and join, or get a better handle on her.
Blasphemy!
Maybe they need to join Umiya. What do you think, Teak?
In hell!
Teak shrugs and says, perhaps, but they're not exactly the reason that we're here.
Nikarin is going to nod, agreeing with Teak, and she's going to say, and you said this Arela only appeared a few weeks ago. The woman is going to nod and say, or at least the clerics did, who set up shop, or who set up their temple down here, did.
Hey, Practice is going to try and put two and two together.
Okay.
Brandon, how in the course of our travel have we heard anything on Elena? Are we like always perpetually like just one step behind, or is it like, we heard that she might be here and so we're just checking it out, and it's been a couple of months?
So, Elena was here. The reason why you're down here, what you heard, like you guys definitely did hear that she attacked this fortress. She hasn't been here in a little while, but one thing that stuck out to you, like, this fortress is actually, I can move you guys over to a map right now, and that might give you a little bit more insight. So this fortress is directly in the path of where you're headed. So you are right here on the border between where those rivers meet, and you are headed down to Dockensdale. So this fortress is not out of your way at all. Like, you would be passing by it anyways, and you heard that she attacked this fortress. The other thing that you picked up rumors and information about is that there's a secret library with information about earth fires in the library below this fortress. So you guys don't know what Elena's doing or where she's at. And you don't really have any leads other than, like where you saw her at that one time you've looked what she did with the earth fire. So other than that,
Okay.
you're trying to figure out okay, what can she do with this? And this is information to form a plan around.
Okay, so the reason I asked that, there is no real correlation between her and these new people
Yeah.
that I know of.
Yeah, not that you know of.
And my response to Teak is, if we killed werewolves, we can do the world favor as well.
That's true, but I don't know. I feel like we keep on getting sidetracked. I don't much care for it, but we must do what we can where we can.
Practice nods.
If I may throw my conjecture in.
By all means, conject away.
I don't think a fight here is absolutely necessary at the moment. If it comes to that, I have no problem with that, but our objective here is to try to find the library and see what Elena's up to.
For once, we're on the same page, you and I.
Yeah. That don't happen often, does it?
Indeed not.
Well, shall we proceed? We've been here long enough. Ogun, let's go.
What? Oh, I was gonna get some horns. Okay, fine. Do we know where the library is yet?
No, you guys don't.
In a manner
you know
of speaking.
Yeah, down here.
Oh, he was asking that in character.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
From what we understand, it's deep.
Nikeren's
All right, well, let's get moving.
Okay. So there's only one way out of this chamber. To the north that you guys... that's the only way out of here. It is the passageway with the stairs behind it and the iron gate that is open. Walking through it and walking down the stairs. You guys... Oh. Okay, who's taking point? Give me a marching
Teak.
order. Teak? Okay, who's behind Teak?
I'll be behind Teak.
Okay, Soulmane. And who is behind Soulmane?
I'm going to be trying to be in the middle.
Okay. And behind you is going to be the woman.
I'm gonna bring up the rear.
Shoasi. Okay. Nikerin will be in front of you then. Wiz, where is Alward? Wiz might be dead. We'll put Alward in
Wiz
front.
is killed.
Yeah. We'll put Alward in front of Nikerin. Okay, so what is Teek's passive perception?
Don't ask me that.
Okay, I can just look at it on your sheet.
It's 10.
Okay, cool. So you are going to you're going to be walking down these stairs, and you're just gonna see these blue, how you see a fly just zip past your vision, just like a single fly zip past
good.
your vision. You're gonna see that, and maybe they're just like little tiny dragonflies because it zips high and then zips up and then down and then straight out of your vision, just like faintly. And then as you keep going down these stairs and getting into the full view of the chamber, you're gonna know exactly what Fractus was talking about. Like, you thought he was like having a headache or something, but now it's very evident to you. This whole chamber is crackling. These are not zips of flies. This is like cracks of like electricity going through the air.
She's gonna reach out and test one of the currents with her hand.
Okay. They're not strong enough to shock you from here, but in the center of this room, and this is a small passageway. So immediately to your left, to the east, there's going to be a closed door. To the northwest, you see broken rubble as that crack goes through here, and charred walls just lit from the torch. But as everybody steps through and steps behind you, and you have full light of this room, in the center of this room, there's going to be a overturned table and a orb on the floor. It has a statue of two short figures on either side of the orb. It is cracked, and it is all of this electricity is kind of coalescing around it. The Teak doesn't need to send her extend her hand or anything to know that thing is dangerous.
So with detect magic still rolling, what is Ogun detecting from that?
Detect magic is 10 minutes. It would have wore off while you guys were having the conversation back there.
Dagnabbit. Okay.
Soulmane will pop the detect magic in his ring.
Okay. Off of this thing, of course, that faint aura that Ogun was talking about earlier, your vision's just going to be clouded. It's hard to even see the object with how much magical essence is in front of you. Do you use your action to discern?
Yeah, to the best of my abilities. I'm not a magic user, but I understand him, right? So
yeah. So schools of magic is something that's a new age thought of how do you go about shaping this arcane energy. This is just more primordial and uncontrolled. If anything of it, you can see pieces of it zigging into these crackles, to if you keep using your action, almost forming into what would be a very basic primordial conjuration essence, and then maybe coming from the orb, a strong feel of evocation magic, of base level evocation of Soulmane doesn't cast spells, but yeah, you do sense the faint hints of evocation and conjuration.
Soulmane just kind of never doing anything like this before with the spell, kind of blinking to get used to it, looks back and goes, from what I can discern from this right now, it's almost primordial ancient magic, almost like a precursor to some kind of aberration and conjuration.
Interesting.
Choasi,
makes sense. Electrical stuff, yeah. Okay.
Choasi is going to have her mouth agape and say, "I've never seen anything like that. I want it."
No, you don't.
Ogun, hold her, Teak. If this goes bad, get out of here. Soulmane's gonna start approaching it.
All right.
Hang on a sec. Just how bad does Ogun think that's likely to go?
Pretty bad.
You don't want to touch that, I'm pretty sure.
So think of like that moment before a lightning strike of like how an area is just like gathering energy. It's kind of what it looks like.
Really? Are you trying to eat a lightning bolt? Is that that's what you're going to do here? You know that, right? Okay, you don't know that. You're going to eat a lightning bolt if you touch that thing or get too close to it.
I was going to try to use the table to push it away so it doesn't hurt anyone. I think I'm one of the only people here quick enough to potentially dodge any discharges.
I'm going to stay close to Soulmane, within 10 feet, so that he benefits from my aura of protection.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to use the overturned table almost as like a buffer and try to start gently nudging it to the side so it opens up the path.
Okay, so explaining this room to you a little bit more. You all file into this room, and you have to take a few spaces to do so, and everybody else is still on the stairs because it isn't a very big passageway into here.
Yeah, I think it's a smaller room. That's why I'm trying to get it away, so that way there's more of a quick path to get through it.
This thing is about 30 feet from you. To approach the table and touch it, you're going to have to get within 5 feet of it. As you step within 15 feet of it, Soulmane's hair starts standing up. And this, like, more of these zips are getting close, or more of these crackles are getting closer to him. He can assume if he steps another 5 feet, it could potentially be dangerous.
So, hang on a sec. In Ogun's estimation, if he uses, like, Dispel Magic, would that tamp it down enough to let him move it without getting zapped?
He can try.
Alright.
Ogun cast Dispel Magic?
Yep.
What level spell slot are you casting it in?
I don't know, let me see something real quick.
Okay.
Is there any, I don't know, would using Detect Magic first help me figure that out, like figure out what level it is roughly, or should I just throw hard and hope for the best?
Yeah, I don't think Detect Magic can discern spell level.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you, the higher level you cast it in, the more potential, magic it can disperse.
I'll try it at 3, since I only have 1/4.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an ability check and add your spellcasting ability to it.
Okay.
1d20 and then add your wisdom.
Okay. I guess I can just do that then. Holy fucksicles.
All right, a 10. You are going to cast Dispel Magic, and you are going to dispel some of these crackles, specifically around the party. As you do, and you're just going to you're going to feel like you have a clarity of sight for a few minutes. However, the orb itself is still crackling.
Okay.
Alright, Teak.
Hurry! I
You
tamped it
run
down
along?
a little bit. I don't think I'm going to slow it down much, though.
All right. Does
Soulmate's gonna approach again.
push the table?
Yep.
All right. Just as stated before, as he puts that foot forward and gets within 10 feet of it, all of this energy that's just kind of coursing through this area, zipping and crackling, just like static, forms and attracts straight to him. A bolt of lightning strikes in his direction. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Alright, and Teak, you're still within 10 feet, you said? JD?
You would be on the edge of Teek's aura.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll get a +5 to whatever save you're making.
Oh god, why did I roll like crap?
Oh, an 11. That's great.
Plus the 5, so 16.
Oh, a 16. Okay. So,
Yeah,
Shit,
that's
I just realized I actually had a
much more powerful.
yeah.
15 there.
A 16, you are, with all expectation,
It only applies to saves, not checks.
you take that step and the bolt, strikes straight in your direction, moving towards you. And Soulmane, if you have a coat or anything, you can just strip that off, throw it there, and jump aside. And your coat is zapped. You just barely got out of the way of that. The orb is still crackling. You think it's going to fire again in a few moments.
Alright, I'm gonna rush that table and start pushing and shouting for everyone to move.
All right.
All right.
You have to go to the northwest side of this room, as is where the passage continues on. Immediately to your right, where the party is a closed door. You can move this thing to the northeast side of this chamber if you want. If you do, for the most part, your party will be safe.
That's what I'm gonna try to do.
Okay. So, picking up this table leg or picking up the stone table and moving it, how about you go ahead and give me an athletics check?
Of course. I didn't realize it was stone when I came up with this idea.
Well, the good thing about stone is it's not going to conduct electricity back to you. Well, probably. There you go.
Oh, damn!
Just and even with the final touch of leaning the table against the wall over this orb, those crackles don't stop, but running back to the other side of the room, putting your back against the wall, you're going to be set from the radius this thing is covering. It will, however, if you try and step into the door to the on the eastern side of the room, it will, however, it could potentially zap anyone. And I'll move the DC down to an 11 at just, getting the very edge of it, like your foot would just barely be in range of that.
Lumi just kind of backs up against the wall and kind of slumps down to sit for a second. That was scary.
Well done. Warned you, though.
I mean, you only avoided 34 points of lightning damage, so... You're fine.
Thank God for evasion.
Is looking through the rest of this chamber. If you guys move to the northwest, there is a tunnel or rather, the passageway extends straight north, and about 10 feet up through this passageway, there is a straight west. There is or I guess it forks. Straight west there's a passage, and straight north there's a passage. Straight west, you guys can tell there are blast marks all over, or rather blast marks radiating from this way, and the crack headed in that direction. You also see light in the very distance. Whoever is carrying it seems to have noticed the light that you guys are carrying and is making their way towards you. They are a good 100 to almost 200 feet out.
So that was my dumb idea for the day. One of you guys get to pick the next one.
Sounds like a plan. I'll go first.
If I pick it, does that mean you're going to do it?
Certainly. I don't see why not.
Oh, good. This could be fun.
Indeed it shall.
As you guys are talking, still moving down that western hallway, the light is getting closer to you.
Look back at the Chorusy. You think this is somebody we ought to be worried about?
She is as they are approaching and they get into your vision range, she's going to say, "Those are Rayla's priests. I can handle this." And
okay.
She'll step forward, placing a hand by Fractus as she walks by him for the pendant. Does Fractus give her the pendant?
Yeah, I guess he does.
All right. So these people keep approaching. It is a group of 3 carrying a single torch. The 2 in the back are wearing black and red robes and have their hands together as a prayer. The one in the front says, you travel through Rayla's sanctum. Or, I'm sorry, you travel through Fiore Ayla. You travel through Fiore Ayla's circle. Should you seek to continue, tribute is owed to Her Majesty, or to Her Greatness.
Brandon.
Yes.
Considering where the first part of session 2 started, can I roll a history to see if these guys look familiar as potential Fifth Ascended clerics?
Yes, you can.
Is it history or?
I'll allow history or religion.
No, it's the same modifier. That's a 10. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, they don't. Well, I mean, they don't look like the Fifth Ascended. They have holy symbols around their neck that you've never seen before. Choasi is going to hand the pendant forward and bow and say, "We only seek good favor with 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 Arela. If you permit us to pass, we just wish to explore the lower reaches. And he's going to say, on what business? She's going to look back and say, they seem, these few seem strong enough to survive down there. And he's going to respond and say, the torrents are getting out of control. Some sections of the sanctum are alight with magical energy. We've did what we can to contain them, but be on your guard. She's going to bow and say, and do you know how we get to any place lower than here? The cleric is going to shake his head and begin walking back down the hallway, taking the pendant.
So, Teak.
Yes.
The Aureola sound familiar?
Didn't I just make a check for that earlier?
You
Yes,
made a
but that
check
character
for
doesn't know that.
You made a check for Aureola. They said her full name.
I mean, I guess I could try again.
It counts.
I'll give that a ponder.
Anybody can
Sorry, never mind.
assist Teak if they want to.
Me no
Sure.
think so good.
Yeah,
You can roll it with advantage if you want. You and Ogun putting your brains together of just like, wait, what?
Let me roll primary on that one then. That was a day for crappy rolls.
Friday night rolls moved to Monday, apparently, Brandon.
Yeah. So, let's see. Teak, Ogun's providing the help action to Teak, so Teak can roll that with advantage. And for Willow, thinking on this, Willow has a one-track mind. His mind is definitely of the kill variety. And at the mention of Fian, that's definitely a moniker for a greater demon. Of what though? He's never heard of this one.
But has it already been established that this is some kind of fiend, though? That's common? Everybody already knows that.
Fractus asked Choasi why she doesn't, if she was part of the cult, and she said, "Heavens no, I don't worship demons." That was all that was said on the matter.
But not that it was a greater demon.
Yeah.
If that wasn't already understood, I'll share that.
Muttering kind of low, are we sure Kill 'Em All is not plan A?
We just paid them.
Wait, since when was Kill Them All not Plan A?
Oh, just checking.
We just
Starting to sound like bribe them and then go to the library and get the data we need. Might have been plan A, but I wasn't sure, so I figured I'd ask.
We did just pay them tribute.
Yeah, we can get it back.
All right. So, Kieran, like as you guys are talking, and she's going to start thinking a little bit more on this subject and just trying to add things up and say, a greater demon? Side of Ardor? When's the last time you heard of such a thing?
I read about that kind of stuff all the time.
Practice is going to look at Teak. Are you sure we're not going to intervene?
Yes, we'll intervene.
If you are still looking down the western passage, it is a long stretching hallway. However, they don't go as far down as they initially did. They turn north and descend down staircase. Or descend downwards, and then you see their light disappear. There are two passages in front of you. One that leads northwards and one that leads westward.
North?
North it is.
All right. North. Oh, this is great. Okay, so, north, you are going to, this area is going to be, as you, step into here, there is so much knowledge, burned, lost, or, destroyed. There are books everywhere, thrown about here. As it seems that this area was a primary area affected by whatever blew this fortress apart. Where those rooms above were caved in, there is, piles of stuff here of just debris and rubble. There are some planks that are still, holding up. And you could, weave and climb your way through this stuff to the other side of it. The entire wall on this other side has been blasted off. You can see into the next chamber very, very faintly with the edge of your light. From what is, what you can still see of this area, there appears to be a statue and that's about all your light picks up. The statue of a person, of some figure.
Do I see anything special about the statue?
You don't have the light from this area. You guys walk into this room, the books are going to be the first thing. And this, you walk north, and then you turned east, and you walk probably 30 feet east to get into this room. And then the stacks of books and overturned shelves, burned away shelves are going to be the first thing you see. As you try and get deeper into the room, all of that fallen down rubble is going to be blocking your path. But, looking into it and, holding your torch, the edge of the torch's vision, you see the statue. You can't see past that because it's darkness. The statue looks like it is, was afraid of something. Fractus notices that.
Sorry, was afraid of something, it was someone and then they got petrified?
That's probably what it is. Fractus is going to get close enough and he's going to take out his sword and go full brightness on it.
Okay, you're going to have to move through the rubble to do that. Any improper shift in this rubble is going to cause it to fall down. That could potentially be dangerous for everybody in this room. To climb through the rubble and the boards that landed upwards and not disturb anything, give me an athletics check. You're going to, or not an athletics, an acrobatics check. You're going to discern that this is very hard.
Hold on. Before you go, I can probably get over there without disturbing too much of the rubble. If you want.
Yeah, I might be able to, too. 1 second.
Okay, one of y'all decided you're going to go. I'm going to give you a little help.
Does this statue appear to be the only thing on the other side of the rubble?
It's all you can see. There's more of the chamber. You can't see to it though because this room is blocked off. Alward, looking at this, would feel like it would be hard for him to squeeze through, but it would be easier. It's very hard for Fractus or Soulmane. It would be hard for Alward.
What I was going to say is I could walk around it using the spider climb shoes.
Oh.
No, but that
Practice
work.
Practice then is going to take the torch, grab the torch, and hand it to him.
Elward, I might need some backup. Feel like a little piggyback ride on something besides a bear for once?
Well, it depends. Could you actually?
You can't be that heavy.
I'm a bag of surprises.
Surprises aren't heavy. Rocks are heavy.
I always figured you were more dense than you looked.
Also dwarves. Dwarves are heavy.
Yeah, say what weighs about like 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah. Soulmane will take off his bag, only having the torch and his sword on him, so that way he can alleviate a lot of the weight. And
yeah, I will take off all, pretty much everything that isn't his weapons and his armor.
And he'll let Howard jump on his back so he could start climbing along the side of the wall to get over there.
Yep.
Trying to avoid as much of the rubble as possible.
Okay, so...
okay, y'all need help with that?
If you want, yeah. Just in case.
Alright. Enhanced ability. Cat's Grace. You now have advantage on dex checks. You don't take damage from falling 20 feet or less if you're not incapacitated.
Okay. So you're going to climb up about 20, 25 feet, getting over this rubble. And as you you climb up the wall, and then as you start moving side to side, this wall is at a 45-degree angle. If you were to think, actually, I can describe this perfectly to you. So running, you guys are looking east into this room, and if you imagine this room as a square from your vision, immediately to your left, on the north part of this room, from that point, the wall runs straight northeast at a 45-degree angle through this room, all the way to the other side of this rubble where Fractus saw the statue. So as Soulmane climbs up here, and he's scurrying through past this wall, or scurrying across this wall over the rubble, what is Soulmane's passive perception?
Soulmane's passive is 11. I don't know what Outwards is. That plays on my back.
Okay. Soulmane is going to notice as he's climbing, he climbs directly off of he climbs like off of place castle brick. Like these dungeons have been bricked, and it's like even if he didn't have like the boots of spider climb, he'd be able to get his fingers around some of these and keep moving, and then onto smooth stone. Does he keep going?
He'll keep going, but he's gonna make note of it to Alward. Hey, Alward. There's an abrupt change in the rocks here. We're going from laid brick to pure smooth stone.
Alward's dead.
Okay.
Let me open his sheet real quick to see if he'd notice anything different from you.
Hmm.
Oh, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Did you hear what Soulmane said?
I mean, not really.
Okay.
Soulmane was looking back to you and telling you, the walls here have a very abrupt change from stonework. We're going from laid bricks to pure smooth stone.
Okay, just means that so.
Oh,
well, it just means that they got lazy halfway through building.
Alward has a passive perception of 18. Looking
That
at
he
this,
does.
as Soulmane is climbing, you're going to notice the stone is blasted apart, like from where it the smooth stone enters, and the stone was blasted apart. All of these scorch marks, and then you're climbing on pure white stone with the occasional red vein going through it. If anything, this stone was magically put here. And then just even looking down as Soulmane's climbing, that's probably why the rubble is holding in the way it is, because some of the rubble is melded in with the stone. Like perfectly melded in with the stone. And it might even, be holding some of this in place. That said, you get to the other side, and you are going to see through, or rather, you're going to like where the sword and torch saw through. You're going to see a blasted off. You're going to see this this area is probably where probably like where whatever destroyed the fortress of like one of the main impact points of it. There are the residual, like what's left of these scorch marks, the sulfur smell here, and there was a steel door here. That is what you guys were seeing through, like the light hitting it. It is the hole in it is large enough that you can both drop into this room below.
Brandon.
Yes.
Just so I know, would the detect magic still be in effect? It lasts for 10 minutes.
That you cast that in the other room? No, it would have worn off at the talk with the clerics.
Okay. I just wanted to double check.
As you step in here,
found an origin point.
Does Alward have dark vision?
He's a halfling, so yes, he does.
All right.
And I do have the torch.
Okay. Yeah.
Practice gave it to me.
So you are going to see. You are going to see that there are actually 3 statues in here. They all are looking in fear and at the northern door in this room. There is a blast point in the center of this room that radiated out from this whatever like caused this explosion. the figures are standing around it, and like this was had to be one of the main points. That said, there's a perfectly white, long, straight wall on the west side of this room. It has those same red veins in it as the other wall that you were in. It is not marred by any of the residual explosion debris.
That's slightly more concerning.
Well, this... Yeah, concerning's a word. But I prefer curious. I think we should go down.
I'm not opposed to it, just remember. It's me and you this time.
Oh, I described what happens when you guys get down and look inside the room. I was assuming you were down.
Yeah. I think he means down the blasted hole in the door.
Yeah. Okay. What Howard is going to do is he's going to give a little whistle, and a small orb is going to float out of his bag currently in Kara's barding. Because I just realized that halflings don't have dark vision, which is a good thing that I do have this drift globe.
You have a torch.
Yeah, we do have a torch.
Oh, well, yeah, never mind. I'm definitely paying attention.
Alright.
Ruining my fun, Dad.
Shall we?
You probably do have your drift globe out.
Besides, this is a floating, orb of light, so yeah, of course it's coming along.
Shall we, Elwood?
Well, after you, considering you're the one carrying me.
Alright, Soulmane will start heading towards the door.
Okay, so give me 1 second real quick. I'm drawing this out for you so you guys can have a better understanding of where you're at.
Sure. My drawing skills, as you can see on our grid, is not good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Soulmane's not a cartographer.
Neither is Anthony.
No, I am absolutely terrible.
Alright, so, the purple X, that area down there was the room with the, that was the room with the orb in it. You guys hurried by that room. There was another small room over there, that, you guys, that had the closed door. This was the westward hallway that extended on past your vision. And you guys, that's where the clerics went. The clerics went down the westward hallway, and then they got halfway down it, and then they turned north. You guys went north, and the only passage, after you went north from the fork, was straight to your west. And I'll go with a different color so I don't confuse you. Let's go with this color. So as you got into this western passage, there were the books all thrown about, and then all of that debris kind of that fell into the room. This wall that goes at a 45-degree angle through this room is the unnatural wall that is formed with half of the debris. As you guys were looking through this debris, and I'll do this in yellow, the light shining through the cracks hit through this door. Because I forgot the range on your light, but it would just barely hit the edge of that door. That door is not a complete door. It is the half of a door that was blown apart. It is if you're looking at this door like this as a door, it's like that, basically. You guys climbed, and I guess I'll go back to purple because I was doing movement in purple. You guys climbed across this wall right here, looked down at that door, and dropped in. And I described what you saw in this room. There's the one statue at the door. There are two more right here in the center of that room. And once you lit the torch, you could see the far side of the room. There is another one of these steel doors on the other side that looks more like a blown apart part of the wall. Everything on this side of the room, that wall is unnatural. And then I will go back to red. In the center of the room, between these two statues, seems to be the point of origin for the explosion. So right now, you guys are through the door behind that statue right there where I put the red X. Does all of that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Before we head to the other door, Soulmane wants to take a look at the statue in front of him. Does it look like a statue or does it look like a person?
Yeah, looking at this statue, more in depth, like people make statues of people. Yeah, it is.
That is
of a
true.
person.
That's how statues exist.
Well, I meant we know that she had. We fought a basilisk. She has. Well, they fought a basilisk. She had. So, does this look natural or does it look man-made?
You can roll me a perception check to try and tell some details from it. From Soulmane's, yeah,
perception or investigation.
Either or, I'll allow either. From Soulmane's passive perception, it looks like a finely crafted artisan statue. Yeah, 22. This person, it is very finely crafted. But then you look at their eyes and you trace them, and they are looking not to the blast point, but to the door on the far side of the room.
Okay. This makes me feel uncomfortable. What do you say, Albert? Shall we head to the door?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not liking it down here. Let's...
Alright, as you get into the center of the room, you can see there's more of this room to your right. It seems to be a private cell of sorts. What is left of the bars are all broken and thrown to the backside of the room. As this area completely destroyed.
What? Practice is going to yell, "What'd you find down there? That statue looked a little real to me."
Yeah, so does its brothers.
Brothers?
There's two more down here.
Y'all should come back. We need to, we either need to go all together or not get separated.
Well, we found another door looks like we found the point of origin of whatever attacked this place. There's another door that's been completely destroyed and blown away. I can get to the other door.
No, let's regroup and we can all go together.
Brandon.
Yes.
Does it look like there's been any other creatures down here, or does it look like the explosion caused this?
these people right here, you can roll me a survival check to try and track if any other creatures have been here. You do see tracks through this. However, trying to tell how long ago or anything like that would, you need... Oh, okay, I see the survival. Okay, so you're going to see two sets of tracks. And you're also going to see something really weird. So that door is blown off. Blown off at the northern part of this room. But and I'm going to in a do you know what a parabola is? Oh, wait, a U. There we go, a U. So think of an upside down U and place this on the ground facing towards outward. The scorch marks of the explosion radiate out from that point of origin, or radiate out from the center of the room in all directions. From the northern door, in a U pointed towards outward, that rounded shape, it looks like there was something preventing the explosion from basically blasting out in that direction.
So it's sort of almost as if it was being directed towards the other way?
Or shielded. That said, there is still the same markings, the scorches and everything, and the charred stone. Although it is lighter and it is extremely dark in that U facing outward, and everything else lighter around it. However, you do discern one set of tracks in here that is ages old, and since then, let me roll a percentage die. Since then, you see one more set of tracks that is about probably half as old as the other ones. And those set of tracks walk straight into the stone wall on the western side of the room. You're tracking it, oh, okay, this is the most recent person that's been... Wait. And it just goes straight into the wall.
I'm gonna check the wall for, any cracks or openings or, secret entrances.
Okay, yeah, feeling across it, you don't find any.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the magic. Maybe some kind of earth mending, melding magic.
Well, why don't we head back to the others and see about getting everyone over here?
Yeah, something about this place just feels off.
Yeah, this is not normal. Alright, hang on.
Yep.
Hey, Brandon. So while
Yes.
all this is going on, Ogun is looking at the giant pile of lost knowledge and sad about it, but also is looking around to just kind of picking at the edge to see if there's anything that might be salvageable out of there, or if it's all just completely wrecked.
Yeah, for the most part, it's going to be completely wrecked. But the few bits of salvageable stuff that Ogun does find, it's going to be weird stuff, not weird stuff you typically expect to be finding down here. A lot of it's going to be military material, how to organize, bands of mercenaries into fighting forces, how to spread them out, marching tactics, tactical warfare, and then you might even find a book that had a prison manifest in it that's, for the most part destroyed, but enough to tell oh, this is a prison manifest.
Okay. So it's either he's looking at the wrong section or the wrong library for the kind of stuff we're looking for.
This library didn't at all seem secret.
Okay.
The party is back together, by the way. Soulmane and Alward, climb out and over the rubble back towards the party. Practice looking up at them, too, as like they're climbing, with them shining light up there now. Assuming, like Soulmane gave the torch to Alward. He's going to see you up above, once again, the stonework. Like how this part of the room is destroyed and then just magically melded stone, perfectly finishing off the wall.
Yeah, that stuff trails all the way back as far as I could see.
By the depths, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Logan, what sort of magic would tear this place like this?
Well, you remember the thing with all the lightning coming off of it? One of those, somebody destroys it, hurls it at something, boom. I could see that. It could work.
Would it turn people to stone?
Not that one, probably. Maybe something else, something comparable.
Nykirin
Why would you say?
Is going to run a hand along the wall, like as you guys pointed out, and she's going to say, I remember this. This wasn't here before.
What do you mean it wasn't here before?
She's going to say, when I first came to Ardor, I think I was in this dungeon before. And then she's going to follow up her statement and say, it's fuzzy, but I don't remember this wall being here.
Well, then maybe we should remove it.
Whatever it is, it's trailing all the way back, and from the point of the explosion, the attack down here that caused the rubble, it wasn't even singed.
Oh, actually, there was a set of tracks in there that seemed reasonably fresh in comparison to everything else. That they went up to the wall and then just vanished.
Lots of ways of doing that. The wall's an illusion. You reshape the wall after you pass through.
Check the wall.
Just use one of those teleporty hole things to go right through it.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe those were Elaine's tracks. Elena's tracks.
Well, there's another thing, and I tracked this. You'd be a better one to see it. I noticed it when we were walking by. If you look here where the rubble is, connecting to this wall, it's almost like it's melded together.
I had saw that right when they were climbing back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that looks hinky.
Well, same kind of magic could blast stone flat and turn people to stone, I guess. We are dealing with old arcane things that don't work the way that I'm used to things working. So lots of things are possible.
Well,
regardless, we need to go down there. How looking at Soulmane, how do you think the best way to get our party down there?
That's a tricky one.
Do any of you have the power, like magic, to like
move Earth?
Mm-hmm.
I have a spell to do it. Not that I can do it now, but I do have a spell to do it. There are other ways, though.
What about a rope? Can we?
That was going to be my thought. Is I can head back over.
Well, but so just letting everybody know, there's.
Let's make that happen.
Oop, hold on. What was that, Brandon?
There's no down. Everything in green is the same floor at the same elevation.
So, my potential thought is I can head back over and basically work as an anchor. You guys might be able to basically soldier crawl along the rope to the other side. Problem is we'd need an anchor on this side, and that anchor would then have to figure out how to get it through themselves. If I had to make a suggestion, Ogun would probably be the best in that regard, because then he can transform into a cat or something that would be easier to slip through.
Or
Well, if I'm going to be shape changing, I'm just be a spider. I'll string a web.
Or you come back, and somebody on the other side is the anchor, and you be the anchor for the last person that was the anchor all that time.
That's a possibility too. Though Ogun makes a fair point, he could turn to a spider and do essentially the same thing. Probably even carry someone over.
Or make things easy, we just move the Earth out the way.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have that spell right now.
And unfortunately, it seems like...
Get it.
You want to camp out here?
No.
No.
See?
And unfortunately to say to you, Alward, Kara's not going to be able to get through this.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm suggesting the Earth molding.
Well, unfortunately...
No, if I spider this, I can get Kara across.
She might be too big to fit through the hole without causing a cave-in.
Wait, is this a matter of fitting through a hole or going over things?
Either or. You guys are going to see Nikiran rub her, like, the temples of her head, and she is going to say, it's such a haze from when I was last here, but I'm certain there's a way around. I just don't remember it.
Well, there is that passageway north here, and there's a door in here that's still shut, right, Brandon?
Ping for me?
I thought you said in the room we were in there was a door that was not open.
Yeah, so right now, where the party is talking is where I just put that big red X at. At the entranceway to here. The door that you're talking about is back in the room with the lightning orb. And I'll circle that in green. That's there. There is a passageway that the clerics went down that you guys did not go down.
Well, I don't want to be tangling with the clerics quite yet until we figure out what's going on here. Let's muddle through this with a rope, and Ogun, if you can turn into a spider, that would be great.
If I'm turning into a spider, I'm just going to use webs, and I will get everybody across. It'll be super easy. Don't worry about it.
All right, let's do it.
I can help carry people over too. Teak, Willow, there ain't no way in hell I'm carrying you two.
Teak gives a thumbs up.
How about I just do it so that people can get themselves across? Brandon, if there's enough room to get a spider through, which counts as a large creature, I can just kind of do it like I was doing on the walls before and just like have a little bit of webbing and then stick it to the ceiling, a little more webbing, stick it to the ceiling, and they can just hand over hand the whole way.
So there is not going to be the room to get a spider across easily.
Okay.
But what you can do is, like, once you get up there and you're climbing across over this rubble, dabbling a little bit into the next floor occasionally, you are going to push the rubble up there just because you have to squeeze through, and Ogun's going to be strong enough as a giant spider. Okay. And that's going to cause it to, like, kind of collapse down. As long as no one's underneath it, you're going to be fine. But once you push through, you will be able to, like, leave those webs.
Okay,
that
just do it that way then.
It's going to destroy any possible way of people slipping by underneath here.
Okay. Would it make it easier for people later to, say, climb across the top instead?
Yes. I just keep in mind. I always keep in mind, like, expeditious retreats. So I'm just letting you know you're going to, like, if you're fleeing out here, it's not going to be an easy feat to, like, climb up all of this rubble. But you will be capable of doing that. Now, if you try and climb the rubble, it's going to fall on you. But if Ogun goes up top and just pushes everything that's loose down, then, people are going to be able to climb on it. But, you can still leave your webbing across the wall.
Well, Ogun, if that's the case, maybe instead of putting that, would it be easier to use your web to tie down the rubble so it doesn't fall?
Well, I'd still have to have a hole to be able to get through. And by the time I've done that, then I'm pushing it down.
Kieran is going to pull up her sleeves and say, "Let me show you how it's done." And she is just going to climb across, making a athletics check. And she is going to nat 20 that, and she's going to, find a hold on the stone, start climbing up, get to the smooth stone. You're going to see her pull out a dagger, test at it, like chisel it a little bit, and say, "It's soft." Dagger through the stone, dagger in the next spot, hand in that spot, dagger through the stone, hand in that spot, next spot, and just, and as you guys are discussing, she is climbing across this area.
Soulmane looks up, seeing this, just looks back at the party. And that's why I love this woman.
I do like him smart.
She's smart and still could kick ass. Alright. Well, I'm going to start helping people across then. If it's that easy to penetrate that a dagger can do it, I think we'll be alright. Me and you are Ogun.
If a dagger can do it, then a bear can.
I think we'll just get in there.
Yeah, handholds on the thing. The climb check would just basically be a 8 for anybody trying to follow behind her.
I'll head to the other side so I can help people across.
There we go.
Ogun, if Ogun transforms into a spider, he doesn't have to make a climb check. You have a climb.
Nah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna save my wild shape. I don't want to waste them.
So go ahead and give me a athletics check for everybody else who's climbing.
Yes. Soulmane's doing the same, where he's just walking across it.
Yeah, Soulmane doesn't have to make one.
Don't need to do one for Howard, since he's just sat on Kara.
Kara's not going to be able to use her. I forgot about Kara. Kara's not going to be able to use her handholds. Kara's going to have to climb up the rubble after somebody knocks it down. But that said, Kara can use that 26. Presuming somebody, starts, takes a second and starts kicking all the rubble down from above. And Teak, as the final person.
And I'll be offering the help action to anyone trying to get across from the wall.
I guess I need to roll too.
Oh yeah, practice too. If Teak can't fail it, oh wait, Teak doesn't have a ton of athletics. Go ahead and roll me those final two checks. Practice and Teak.
Can I do acrobatics instead of athletics?
How would you be doing that?
Teak is going to position herself near the obstacle and ready like a hand to kind of boost him up. I'll aid as Fractus approaches.
And you just want to throw Fractus over this as much as possible?
Yeah, I'm actually... That's a good idea, and I'll actually spend a key point.
Okay, go for it.
You have advantage on this athletics check.
And before double that
It's
one.
acrobatics.
Acrobatics? Either way.
Acrobatics for Soulmane. And 1, 2, and 3, and up. And you are going to launch Soulmane over this thing.
Fractus.
Or, I'm sorry, Fractus over it. And being caught by somebody on the other side.
Yeah, like I said, Soulmane's like still on the wall helping people, so when he sees Fractus come through, he'll grab him to help lower him down easy.
Alright. Your guide, as she is trying to climb, she rolls her check with advantage, rolling a 3 and 3. She's going to put her torch in her mouth and try and like follow behind you guys, and like Soulmane helping her out, like, you know, put your hand here, and she's gonna look down and just kind of like burn her shoulder with the torch in her mouth and lose her grip and fall. She falls into the rubble.
Can I try to grab her? No.
Can Kara not be like underneath her, like catch, so that she has something a bit softer to land on?
So she's gonna take piercing damage from this rubble of it basically functioning like a spike trap. I'll allow either Kara to burn her reaction and try and catch her, and she'll take falling bludgeoning damage, and that's going to be, reduced damage, of course. Or I'll allow Soulmane to use his reaction and try and catch her. She failed the check, though, and she is falling.
Why not both?
Well, I don't...
If
one of you roll. Go.
One of you...
what am I rolling?
Suggested things. I'll allow you a sleight of hand to try and catch her. No, you know what? You're going to be able to catch her. Give me a athletics check to see if she doesn't yank you off the wall.
Oh boy.
A 12. I didn't actually set a DC for it. She is going to pull you off of the wall, and as you grab her.
No, it's alright.
You're already over. But the thing is, you are going to at least be able to, like, as you grab her, you're at least going to be able to, like, shield her and kind of, like, pull her in the right direction. You steer away from a metal spike, like, jutting out, and into some wood beams. You each take 6 piercing damage, which is 1d10 instead of 2d10.
Okay. Willow's going to pull out a rope. And,
Are you two okay? Alex is from on top of the bear, right in front of them.
We're on the other side of the rubble.
Yeah, the whole party just got across. Well, wait, no, I think you're pulling
Teak and
that,
Howard.
Yeah, pulling that rope for Teak, right, Willow?
Yeah, he was. Is there any thick or embedded boulders that he could wrap this rope around?
Not above. Well, you know what? The way that this wall is formed, it would have grabbed like one pillar inside of it that is just permanently stuck in place. You can tie it around that.
Idea. You said a dagger can be inserted into these things, right?
Yeah, into the wall. The stone isn't terribly hard. In
Can I hook a javelin into the wall?
Yeah, it's a DC 8 athletics check to get across. They're handholds.
Okay, never mind. I just do it.
Yet the bear can't.
The bear can't climb in handholds.
Once Teak is across, Solomon will go back up us, kicking some of the rocks down so Kara can get across.
Yeah, no, Kara did get across with that 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody is on the other side of this. The reason why your guide failed it, she rolled a 3 and a 3 on like 2 3s, so
yeah.
But I'm not going to describe the room again. You're in the room with the 3 statues and the explosion. The wall on your left, on the west side of the room, is that unnatural white stone.
So you can right here.
Take a good look at that.
I point out the tracks. Point out the tracks that just fade into the wall.
Yeah, the tracks go from the center of the room into the wall. Kieran is going to go to the far side of the room. Specifically eyeing the door on the other side of the room.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
How long are we going to play tonight?
I ideally want... Give me 15 more minutes. Can everybody swing 15 more?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll finish. Because I did start you guys late.
So what do you think, Ogan? This rock is not normal.
Yeah, definitely. Let's look around, see if it maybe was displaced, or does it look like it's been stone-shaped? What do you want for that?
Oh, yeah.
Arcana
It definitely looks like it's been stone-shaped.
Okay.
It would be a history check, just checking out like the structural integrity of this room.
There you go.
Yeah, so it doesn't take much to tell that somebody, melded this wall like magically. Obviously, like this area, wasn't structurally sound from the blast. It covers from floor to ceiling. Whatever did this, it's more powerful than any magic Ogan can think of that covers this much space with this much material. Unless, they had several weeks to just sit here and cast a spell over and over and over and over again. Because, even knocking on it, it sounds like solid.
Okay. What if it was an elemental? Like somebody summoned an elemental to do all of this.
The 2 NPCs
I don't
that
like
are
to
with
think
you
about
yet
that possibility.
aren't going to have any inclination on that.
Ogan, I want to try something.
Okay.
So we'll call this stupid idea number 2.
I thought you said you were going to let somebody else have a stupid idea next.
No, number 2, sorry. We're at least on number 5.
Why is she doing a deck save?
Well, that's what I was going to say. As you say that, you say, okay, I've got an idea. It's stupid idea number 2. And you are like Nikiran's gonna call out, like turning towards you, of just like just be kid. And as she does, something moves from the wall, and Nikiran is not fast enough to get out of the way of this thing, and it just smacks against her, crushing her into the far side of the other wall, almost as if the whole wall just kind of went moving in that direction just very swiftly. She is going to... God, Nikiran is the luckiest person in the world. She takes 9 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing, like, as you guys see this whole wall, like, she turns and looks at you, the whole wall moves and presses against her in, like, the fraction of a second, and then retracts. And she's going to, like, be completely stunned. Like, you know, just if some concussion, there we go, that's a good word for it. Like something just hit her terribly hard across the face, crushed against this wall, and she's gonna fall down, moving back from this area.
Can I run in there and like just grab her and pull her out of the way in case that thing, in case the wall just
you can
reactivates. Just like yank her out of the way.
Yeah, Slomain was pulling out his rapier to stab into the white wall. You see him drop it and just bolt over to her.
She's gonna push both of you off of her and just say, I'm fine. It just caught me off guard.
Howard has one of his short swords out and is got his hand against the wall checking for an elemental.
Well, I was about to ask, Brandon, this looked like an organic movement or like mechanical?
As everybody's like focusing on this now, is Fractus there?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to notice the exposed machinery on this side, and you. Like, it's hard to see on the other side because it's, it's inverse. But on this side, you can tell that you guys are, you can see that whatever that was triggered by, some sort of pressure plate that Nikiran stepped on. However, it doesn't seem to be functioning properly. Do you point that out?
I do. I'm sorry. Yeah.
She's going to get up and test it again. And she puts her foot on it. The wall, once again, tries to swing close. And, she gets out of the way of it, of course. It smacks against the stone wall, unable to do so, and then retracts. And she's gonna keep testing and say, "Is this some sort of secret chamber?"
I'm gonna grab like a sizable piece of rubble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, "Push that plate down again."
She pushes it down,
and when she pushes it down, I'm gonna slide the heavy plate, keep it depressed.
Okay. So, this thing is going to try and swing close. It hits against the stone. There isn't enough area to like slide this in behind this, as the whole wall is extending out. You can conjecture that this is some sort of... You guys are in some sort of secret area. And this is like the concealing wall, but it can't close from that other stone there, and you can't get that rubble in behind it because the whole wall is like extending to conceal itself.
It's sort of trying to keep the mechanism resetting by keeping the trigger.
Oh,
pressed.
okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like putting a heavy rock on top of the pressure.
that is going to stop it from resetting to trigger again. So it recedes into the wall, and with the plate just constantly depressed, as it normally would be if somebody could flip a switch or anything for it. It is. The wall is receded, and Nykiren's going to continue doing what she was doing, and standing up and shooing you guys off, where she's going to say, just don't do anything too stupid. I'll cover that on my own.
Yes, well done.
Solomon will head back over and pick up his rapier. And seeing how a dagger was easily able to penetrate the wall, he's going to start stabbing into the wall with his rapier and seeing how far he can get.
Okay. So the dagger wasn't able to easily penetrate the wall. It was kind of like a chisel of just hitting it against the wall. The stone would break off enough that she could keep doing it to get a hand in there. But you can. Go ahead.
I for some reason I was thinking it was just almost like clay, where it's just sticking in.
No. Yeah.
Willow's gonna look at everybody with drawn weapons. It's a wall.
Yeah, you can keep stabbing the wall, doing so mining against this wall. Your rapier, I think it's magical, so you're going to be good on that front.
No, my rapier is Valpier. My short sword is magical.
Okay, so you're going to be doling out the point of your rapier if you do this too much. So,
I was just basically seeing how sturdy it actually was.
Yeah, 3 times piercing straight at this, you can dig in a good 7 inches of just breaking off enough stone, making a hole that's about maybe 8 inches in diameter of just and digging out the stone. And there's so much wall here, and if you do that again a 4th time, I'm going to put a point of rust monster DK on your sword at -1 of just it's losing quality.
No, I understand. No, seeing as how it's chipping away still easily, I'll stop after the 3rd time. I don't know what this is made of, but
people don't understand what kind of blade you use for their weapon you use for this stuff. Does anybody have a hammer or a pick? Give me that damn sword. It does mending on it.
I have 10 pythons.
Do you have a hammer to push them in with? They usually come with hammers in that kit.
Karen is going to call back to everybody, and she's been peering through the door, and she's going to say, "There's a cell block up here. This is the one I was held in. I knew this area looked familiar."
And the pieces are all coming together.
I'm kind of
still... No, you guys knew Nykiren was a criminal.
What did you do to get yourself locked up in a secret prison inside of a fortress?
Crime.
Never ask what someone was convicted of. You ask what they were accused of.
Nykiren is going to... Nykiren's going to roll her eyes at you and say, "No, I wasn't locked up in the secret part. This is why I don't remember it. This is the secret part. We're on the backside of it." And she's going to I'm wondering, she's not gonna just to kind of prove to you guys, she's gonna see everybody doubting her, and she's gonna squeeze through the hole and head into the cells and say, "It's a cell. Mine's 4 rows over."
Okay.
Shall we check it out?
Oh,
yep.
They come in here to look for anything.
Found weird runes in another cell. You could only get weirder from there.
We found weird runes, a cracked lightning orb, and now this.
And a chimera. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Alright, Soulmane will head into the room after her.
Alright. So, now you guys are in the dungeon proper, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Does everybody follow or just Soulmane?
I will
Open
follow.
follows.
Yeah, everybody follows. Hey, Brandon, can we stop here?
Well, I was going to stop in this next room. Or I guess we can pick up here.
Next room's fine with me.
Okay, yeah, we'll do this last room and then we'll be done. I'm sorry, I know it's like 11 o'clock for you guys. Okay, so, you are in a long row of, let's see, there are two doors, obviously, okay, so, there are, 5 cells on both sides of this hallway, and that is 10 sets of cells that you guys can see. On your right, as you step into, you're in a cell. On your right, there are 2 doors to 2 private rooms, and these jail cells are going to be open, as whoever's been scavenging down here has been through pieces of these. Where the rest of the dungeon has been moist, this is the most moist. What you guys are going to see in the looking far in the east of the room, it seems that there was some excavation done with this wall rubbled out. Nykirin is going to step out of the cell, and she's going to look back at Soulmane and say, we'll have to discuss it at another time.
Is everything okay?
She's going to shake her head and say, I don't remember how I got to Ardor.
This place has been messing with your head since we got here.
No, that's the first time you've ever asked her about, and she's going to say...
No, I mean is, you've been, since we got into that other room, you've been rubbing your head like something's blocking your memories.
And she's going to shake her head and say, no, this is all familiar to me. I remember the layout of that room. I was processed there, but I do remember going around and being put into these cells. I didn't remember that in-between room.
Alright. If something's bothering you, don't be afraid to tell me, okay?
And she's gonna nod and say, we've got a secret library to find.
Yeah, I'm guessing the metal door back in that other room's gonna lead us there.
Well, the cell blocks might prove interesting, but the library is the part that's really going to help us deal with Elena. Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go back to the other room?
Take a quick swing through just to see, like, if there's anything really notable in here, but most likely, yeah, just move back in.
Okay, so, Go ahead and roll me that as an investigation check, and just
Okay.
kind of walking through and overviewing. I'll tell you what you see. All right. At a 13, bodies left. So there are some bodies left in this cell. Getting to the far side of this room, there are a set of stairs that just lead up just a few, maybe 4 stairs that step up. You can assume probably like a private dungeon for a more dangerous prisoner. Walking by that rubbled way, seems to be an entire passageway of whoever broke that wall. It leads somewhere to the south.
Brandon.
Yes.
When pretty much when everyone else leaves the room, after doing a quick sweep, Soulmate's going to go over to the cell she said she was in and check that one out.
Okay. You can roll me an investigation check if you want. Oh, the cell she said she was in. That's the one that has the excavation in it.
Okay.
Looking at that one, investigating it more deeply. There is water that is kind of flowing, or kind of mildewing on the wall, or condensating on the wall here, and dripping down onto the floor, and then just a bit of it flowing down this passageway.
Alright. There's no bodies or anything like that, or ruins or anything.
No, the bodies are... So, I'll draw this out real quick for you.
No, it's alright. If there... Soulmate's basically just, making sure there's no one still there.
Yeah, bodies are in that cell, and as Ogun is walking, there's a hallway. These stairs lead up. There is a body there that is decayed.
Okay.
And then cell with the passageway.
Alright. So after checking it out real quick, he'll head back out with the rest of them.
Okay. And we will pick up there then. All right. That is. Let me. All right. So, tonight. Ooh, you guys are level 9 of. I'm going to give you experience for a tiny bit of uncovering small details of Nykiran's backstory, and then for appeasing the clerics of Arela. That's going to be it for tonight. So I'm going to say 3,000, moving you guys up a story marker, 1,500 for each. And then we'll pick up with the rest of this dungeon, hopefully next session.
Wait, so 1,500 for each of us?
Yep. Well, no, 3,000 experience for everybody. Everybody gets 3,000 experience. And your next session is going to be on the 15th of October. And we will be on time for that one.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot.
Cool, dude.